I knew that he had high hopes. When he made his movie, The Room, he kept it in theaters 2 weeks on his own dime to qualify for the Academy Awards. I knew, he had really high hopes for his movie, so here we are, 15 years later, and I just thought it would be a nice moment to have him up there.
And I'll just say that while they were announcing the nominees, my brother whispered to me that if he won, I was going to go on stage with him, and I said, no, I'm not. And he said, yes, you are. And then he dragged me up there, and that's what happened.
Well, in our movie, the kind of final moment is when Tommy goes up and everyone's cheering at the end of the film, and he says, I couldn't have done this without Greg, and I really couldn't have done this without my brother. So that's why I brought him up. Oh, it's the best. You can talk about it.
Yeah, it took us a while to finally work together. That was mainly my fault. I was, I was trying to pave my own path and stand on my own 2 feet. And then after a while, it just felt like the right time and the right project. And we had such a great time that we have since started a production company together, and we're trying to do everything together now.
Hi. I have a lot of memories from the first time I saw The Room. It's super vivid. What was the first time you saw The Room? I'm just curious.
We were both latecomers to The Room. All we knew was that billboard that Seth Rogen described, and I became aware of the whole thing when I read the book 4 years ago. Before I was halfway through, I immediately went out and saw The Room. The story in the book was so compelling, the story of dreamers and friendship, and then seeing The Room and having that theatrical experience, people throwing spoons and yelling at the screen, I was completely sold. I knew if we did it right, we'd have a movie unlike any other, because Tommy Wiseau is unlike any other human being that has ever lived, but that underneath, we would have a very relatable, universal story.
James, over here on your right. How's it going? Oprah's speech was certainly one of the big highlights, I think, of the night. It swept online. Everybody's talking about it. I'm wondering, as being in the room for both of you guys, what was it like in there in the room? What were your thoughts on what she said?
It was a very powerful night. We just passed Frances McDormand at the photos, and she said, "What a night to be in that room." And it does feel like a very, very historic night. And Oprah captured it incredibly well. Yeah, it was powerful.
Hi, James. Congrats. I know you're wearing the Time's Up pin. I wanted to ask why you chose to stand in solidarity tonight, and what you think all men in Hollywood can do to do better from now on.
I guess I believe, and it also, I was asked this question a lot too when I did the film Milk, and I always said, whenever any group, and this was around the time of Proposition 8 too, when we did Milk, anytime any group is treated differently, or given less rights, or less equality than any other, it's everyone's responsibility to stand up and make change, and so that's why I'm wearing the pin.
Xinhua News Agency of China. I'm really curious, James, because you obviously act, you direct, you write, you do poetry, you paint. It's a wonderful artistic balance. Do you have specific preferences?
I am slowing down a little bit. I'm sort of sticking just, this is a big year of change for me. I'm just sticking to directing and acting. I directed and acted in this film, and I direct and act on the HBO show The Deuce that I do. But I had a lot of interests, and I really, it was really just about, I had this attitude that, I only have one life, and I might as well just try all the things I wanted. I guess I tried them all, and I found that was satisfying for a while, and now I get much better results if I just focus on fewer things that mean more to me.
Hello, how you doing, sir? James. So it's like probably like a follow-up what you say, that you're trying to focus on like probably doing less things. I mean, you're very popular as an actor in like different countries in the world. I'm from Latin America. But as a director, it's been more complicated for you, of course. And I was reading that you have like plenty of movies as a director, but this one is extremely funny and it's been very well received. Why do you think is that? It's just because this one is funnier than the others? It's just because the aspect of like the room that is so like crazy? Or why do you think this one got it right?
One of the things that really helped me change, both as a director, as you're asking, but also just as a person this year, were working with very strong producers that were smarter than I was, that had more experience than I did. And so on The Deuce, I had David Simon, George Pelecanos, and Nina Noble. I directed 2 of the 8 episodes, and I having to work for them and work with such incredible material, but also to sort of answer to them really taught me a lot about how to basically be focused. And the same thing on The Disaster Artist. I asked my old friend Seth Rogen and his company Point Grey to produce it, and they just plain were, they just knew how to do it a little better than I did. I knew that the story had so much potential. It had enough weirdness to appeal to my sensibility, but that I knew if I got them on board that they would give it the best chance to kind of get to a bigger audience, and they really helped me there. Thank you. All right, is that it? Thank you.